Why, hello everyone. Welcome to today's live. As always, thank you for joining me. And if you're joining me, please jump into the comments and say hi because I love to find out who's with me and go from there. All right, look, today we're going to talk about the power that you have to create improved mental health outcomes in your community. There are so very many people just like you who actually feel really passionate but really aren't sure how they can actually make a difference. And I just want everyone to understand today that stepping up to be the one to make a difference is actually the most important step in all of the steps. Now, many of you know that your community needs something more. I think that there's no lack of passion in that space. You might have noticed that there's gaps in wellbeing support, there's struggles in mental health services and getting access to them, or perhaps your community is struggling to have a real sense of belonging and connection across the community. And look, you might have thought at some stage that someone should be doing something about this. The government should be doing something about this, or whoever it might be, an outside provider should be doing something. What I want to talk to you about today is the possibility that you could actually be that someone. Now, I know for many of you, you've probably heard me say this many times before. It probably actually sounds a little bit like a broken record, but I really want to discuss it again because for many people, there's actually a fear that really holds them back from stepping up and making a difference. People often feel that they don't have the right qualification, that they don't really know how to get started, and that they really don't feel confident about doing anything or actually starting the conversation. But what I really want to emphasize today is that I truly believe in my heart that this is how we actually start to move the needle and to change mental health and wellbeing outcomes. This is actually how we bring our communities together to create change that actually matters, and that's needed so very much now in a time where everything really seems quite uncertain. So on that note, why is now? Why should we be thinking about it now and doing something about it now? Well, look, the truth is that our communities need change makers now more than ever before. People are really struggling, services are stretched thin, and often the solutions we have just aren't working and aren't having the outcomes that we would have intended them to have. And there's really a lot of frustrations being felt across our communities. Now, as you know, waiting for someone else to fix this problem really isn't the answer because outside solutions don't actually consider the unique needs and the strengths that exist within our community. I just want you to imagine for a moment the impact that you could actually create if you were to step up to lead a local initiative that actually creates lasting, sustainable wellbeing change. And I just want you to drop a yes in the comments if that really resonates with you and it really feels, you might not know if you're the one, but it just feels like, wow, imagine what it could look like. Now, when you think about that, I just want to talk for a moment now about what could actually be preventing you from being that person, from stepping up. I think firstly, I just want to mention that if stepping up feels daunting, please know that you're not alone in that. You could be thinking, who am I to lead the change? I don't have a mental health qualification. And as many of you might have heard me say, you don't need one because you're not providing a counselling service or a mental health service as such. Or you might even be thinking, where do I even start? I don't know where to start, so how could I be that person? Look, the truth is that every successful change maker started with exactly those same thoughts, me included, but they've chosen to move forward anyway. They didn't have any special skills or secret resources behind the scenes. They simply made a choice. They made a choice and decided that their community deserved better and they decided that they'd had enough. They've had enough of things not working, and they'd had enough of watching those frustrations and seeing the gaps that existed. Look, I really want to tell you that if you feel that pull, if you feel that frustration, you already have everything you need to begin, because that feeling is not something everybody has, but it is the difference that it makes to actually make change happen. Your experiences, your frustrations, and your insights into actually what's not working and what could potentially be a better way to do it. That is actually where it all begins. So I just want you for a moment to pop one thing into the comments that you feel holds you back from stepping up. I've had countless conversations with individuals who, there is no doubt that they have this unique understanding of what's not working, and it comes from so many different professions, and it comes from so many different experiences, lived experiences, support when they're offering it to a family member. People genuinely see what's not working, and they often have really good ideas of how it could be done better. So what is it that holds you back from not actually stepping up and making that change happen? I just want you to think about that for a moment and pop it in the comments. Now, I don't want to leave you there. I want to help you. I want to give you a suggestion about what is one thing that you could actually do to get started. So here's one simple step that you could take today, and it doesn't have to be big. This is a very simplistic thing you can do, but I want to keep it really simple at this stage. So I want you to start by simply thinking about how you could start a conversation. You could potentially talk to someone else that you know has a shared feeling of frustration, or actually might share your passion. You could post, and I say this with genuine care about this, post a respectful comment to start the conversation. And when I say respectful comment, I mean rather than a whinge, and just a chance to get things off our chest. Just post a comment that might prompt a conversation to start. The other thing you can also do is find other passionate people that you might be able to broach a conversation with. In your local social media channel, a lot of communities these days have a chat or a notice board or something where you can have conversations. And it is a place sometimes you can find people who can be aligned with your passions. What is really important in all of that is to remember that real change always starts with one person being brave. It always starts with one person that takes the courage to start the conversation and tries to keep that going, even if it might not be completely successful from the get-go. Because the thing is, bringing people together around shared problems and around shared goals is exactly what a community-driven wellbeing solution is all about, and where the change starts to happen. So I want you to just think for a moment, who's one person or what's one channel that you could use, or one person you could talk to this week to start a conversation. And I want you to take it beyond just what's in your head, and I want you to write it down. I want you to write it on a piece of paper, or if you want to, you can tag them in the comments here. But I want you to write it. I want you to in some way take it out of your head and put it down on something, as something that you can do as a concrete strategy. Now, if you know that this feels like you're ready to step up, you really do want to do this, you want to start a conversation, and you want to learn more strategies and other ways that you can create small, medium or big ripple effects in your own community or area, then I really want to invite you to my free masterclass that I'm running in 2 weeks' time on April the 24th. It's called 3 Simple Steps to Become the Wellbeing Changemaker that your community needs. And this free 60-minute class is actually going to help you determine if you could be that person. And I'll give you real clarity, confidence, and practical steps that you can take to action and you can start making a difference. I'm going to pop the registration link into the comments below as soon as we've finished. So please make sure to grab your spot, because I'm not going to be offering this session again for a little while, and I'd hate for you to miss out. And if you're excited and this is something that you've been looking for and you think, I really want to do this, I'd love for you to pop the comment "I'm in" underneath, so that we can really feel your excitement for this, because I honestly believe this is a session to create change, to create momentum, to create a movement towards doing things better in our communities. Look, I'm going to stop there. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember, as always, your community is waiting for someone exactly like you to step up and lead this change. You don't have to do all the work, but someone has to be the brave person to step up and start the change, or start the movement. I can't wait to hopefully see you at my upcoming masterclass. And look, until then, let's stop watching the mental health statistics and start changing them.